Now it's recording. Go back again.
Okay.
Sorry.
My name is Patrick Watson, and this is my presentation for Kinesiology 454. Kinesiology 454 for me is behavioral aspects of sports psychology. I've chosen a target population of volunteer emergency medical services, and what that entails is anybody who's involved in tactical athletes. Firefighters, law enforcement, EMS are all considered tactical athletes because of our profession, because of the fact that we are constantly moving and the stress and adrenaline that we deal with on a regular basis. The reason that I've picked this target population is I do have extensive experience in emergency medical services, both as a family member of a responder and as a responder myself. My father was in the fire service for 32 years. He just recently retired, so I've seen what will happen.
Time out. Battery died.
No, is it black? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
So, I can cut that out.
Edit.
Anyway, and then also I've been in EMS since 2000 as an emergency medical technician. I'm currently working towards getting my advanced emergency medical technician right now. The target population that I've chosen for EMS is, let me get my fat head out of the way, personnel between the ages of 30 and 40, because that's normally where you're going to see probably your most active members. Sometimes this age is a little bit lower, could be 25, could be up to 45 or 50. I had to pick a 10-year.
How old are you, Tom?
Yeah, there are some members that are older than that. I did have to only pick a 10-year area of time because that's in most sports. You know, I mean, if you're dealing with baseball or something, you're dealing with 18 to 25-year-olds, or if you're dealing in football, same ages. So, with the physical environment that we deal in, this can be a varied field. You're looking at working anywhere from maybe in a high school basketball game, having to work on a patient there, to responding to a structure fire to assist fire with that, and having to deal with a person who has smoke inhalation. Or you could be working on having to rescue a person who could be stuck out in the wilderness somewhere and needing some kind of medical attention. With these different environments, it's extremely stressful. However, the best reinforcement that we have for this profession is choosing to see a patient in a healthier lifestyle. It was mentioned earlier about a patient saying thank you, or in a smaller community, you know, maybe they go to the same church as you, or they are involved in the school with you in some aspect of life. Another portion of this stress in this profession is the fact that we do live in a smaller community, so there's an extreme chance that you might know the individual and they have family members that will be asking you questions about what happened to them, and you cannot give that out for HIPAA confidentiality reasons. All of these factors are part of your physical environment. It's not just the fact that you're working on an ambulance or you're working out in the field somewhere. With the social and family environment that we have, basically the way I look at it is we are all one family. It doesn't matter what we do. We're all considered a family when we work in EMS, and that is something that with this field is inherently dangerous, and we develop several different social relationships with people. It could be that we celebrate birthdays together with other department members. It could be that we do a family barbecue as a department, or it could be that we are doing training days like we are tonight, where we have people from 2 different agencies present at this location. All of these are related to what's called the social cognitive theory. And that's really one of the things that when I was asking you guys questions earlier about motivation and stress, anxiety, and reinforcement, all the answers that you gave me in regards to that all relate to the social cognitive theory. And what that basically states is that as members of this department, you're not just seeking glorification for you. What you're seeking is the way that the personal and the behavioral and the environmental aspects of it are going. So say we responded to a call, and I know that you guys had a bad call on Friday night, and You were just talking about it with the outpouring of support that was seen last night at a function for that. That is one of the factors that deals with social cognitive, is you're not dealing with just, oh, look at me, I'm an EMT, or I'm a fireman, or anything like that. You're dealing with the fact that, yeah, I know these people in this community, and I'm willing to be out there to help them. Other factors that deal with the social cognitive theory are the way that you look and the way you plan your day. You're sitting there and you might be out feeding horses, and the next thing you know is you're going to have your pager go off and you have to respond to a structure fire. So horses might get fed later in the night. Or you call a friend and have them do it for you. Some of the goals that I've developed from what you guys gave me are learning Spanish. I like the little laser here. Learning Spanish for the use of EMS or becoming an EMS instructor. That is an outcome goal that anybody in here can look forward to. Some of the performances that you would be doing would be taking a Spanish for medical personnel course or an instructor development course. I don't know how many people are aware of what an instructor development course is in here. Coming from a law enforcement side, we have where we would send a person to training, and it's actually only a week-long training course where basically you are put in front of a class and told basically give a PowerPoint presentation on anything. I mean, you also have to do a 5-minute presentation on some small skill. Mostly what the instructor development course does, it teaches you how to instruct people. As for the Spanish for medical personnel, that can actually be translated into taking, as a process goal, that can be taken a Spanish class twice a week until you feel that you become fluent in that language. Other ways that you could do this would be through the use of internet sites such as Duolingo or Rosetta Stone. Both of those programs are actually fairly new, but they're also very, very knowledgeable when it comes. Another outcome goal that I developed was developing an injury-free workplace. We all, as I said before, we all know that this is an inherently dangerous workplace. However, if we can prevent ourselves from being injured or prevent our partners from being injured, that just makes our goals that much more attainable. I believe that right now your department has been injury-free for how many years?
72.
72 years. So now the performance goals that I came up with this have been such as the ability to squat double your weight. Not a lot of people think about this, but when you perform a squat, you of course put the weight on your shoulders, or you can put it across your chest, and then you bend down and use your legs. And a lot of that is what we do in EMS with lifting patients. In fact, we were just practicing it earlier tonight. So what my process goal for that was attempting to get to the gym to lift weights at least 3 times per week for 30 minutes. What this does is it helps to build up your muscles. It helps to help you develop the proper lifting technique. And what it will also do is it will also give you an outlet in ways of dealing with stress and anxiety. The final goal that I developed was developing a health screening program for the community. For this is something that is just coming out as we've been reading in our textbook about community paramedicine, where you're having more and more paramedics right now, and I believe the website I saw said EMTs even responding out to the community and assisting in a rural area where people are not able to get to the doctor as much, maybe going and doing a health screening of sorts. Basically, what I have as a performance goal for this would be doing a monthly health screening in your community. With that health screening in your community, it could be doing a blood pressure check at, say, the Heyday Inn or CJ Bar here, or over at Scolari's in Yerington, or as I'd like to get involved with is on our 4th of July over in Yerington is having a health screening booth at the Mountain View Park when we do the 4th of July festivities. The process goal that I have for this would be contacting your local hospital or clinic to have them assist with the screenings. Us as emergency medical service providers can only do so much. But what we can do is we can get that person to more definitive care. And if we can do that by getting the local hospitals involved to say, okay, we've taken their blood pressure or we've taken their blood sugar and they've kind of gotten some precursors for hypertension or diabetes, then what we do is we send them over to the doctors or the physician's assistants that are there, and they get a more thorough examination from them, or even go further and say go to the hospital and have them checked out and do A1C tests, or maybe be put on some kind of regimen for blood pressure medications. The only way that all these can happen, though, is through community-based programs. We've all heard through AHA about a lot of community-based programs having the ability to develop, what's the word? Early morning signs. And with those programs, if we get that more involved, it actually makes our jobs a little bit easier in the field. Those are all the goals that I've developed from what you guys have told me. And this is also the end of my presentation. Are there any questions that you guys have in regards to what I kind of presented here?
Sure.
No?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.